Check, check, check. All right. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Maybe we're live. Maybe. Maybe. Let's do it. Okay. 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 I think we're live. I think we're live. Why not? Let's just do it. Hey, it's been a long time. Happy New Year, everyone. Cheers. Oh, yeah. Trying to remember how to do everything is tricky, especially when you're watching yourself on some kind of odd replay. It's tough, but we'll get it going. We'll get it going. I guess I'll just get into the monologue. And I think I need to hit one of these buttons, and then I'll just get to it. Let's see. Is this it? See, I'm on some kind of delay, so I can't. That's not it. Here we go. All right. Well, I'll just do the monologue then. Let's get to it. Hey, thanks for joining me today. Try to get centered here. And the big thing I want to talk about is Greenland thing. You know, everyone laughed when Trump brought up buying Greenland. Late night jokes, editorial smirks. Relax, it's just Trump being Trump. You heard it. But here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. He ain't bluffing. And this isn't about Greenland. It's about a new American operating system. For 80 years, American power ran on alliances, treaties, and shared illusions. Trump ripped out the software and replaced it with a spreadsheet or a blockchain. Call it a reboot. Reboot the Monroe Doctrine, call it the Donroe Doctrine. The rule is brutally simple. If you can't defend what you own, it's negotiable. With big resources, don't get sovereignty. They get a contract. That's why Greenland suddenly matters. Not as a joke, as a shortcut. See, the Arctic? It's the next great battlefield. Energy, shipping, power. Rebuilding Alaska is going to take decades. Greenland takes one deal or one crisis. So when Trump jokes that Denmark's defense plan is, quote, 2 dog sheds or dog sleds, because I can read, that's not trash talk. That's an appraisal, and Europe knows exactly what it means. This isn't about Greenland. It's about whether NATO still protects its own or just exists as a logo. Because once sovereignty becomes conditional, the rules-based order doesn't collapse. It gets repossessed. My name's Tom Coffey. This is the Coffey and Nuance show, and it is the best streaming show that you happen to be watching right now. Flame on. There we go. It's been a while. It's been a while. Maybe I'll be able to get the camera level and all that at some point. But anyway, it's January 2026. How y'all been? I've been okay. Still figuring out how I'm going to do this show, but I need to get back into it. So there's no better way than to just jump in, you know? You can just do things. So that's what we're going to do today. We're talking about Trump's Greenland gambit. And actually read an interesting article in RT. Now, you wouldn't know RT because it's banned on social media, right? It's ridiculous. But it's about Trump is not bluffing at all about Greenland. And essentially what he's doing is he's repricing the world. So it's not a gag. This isn't just chaos. It's not some cover strategy, right? We're no longer in a rules-based order. We're moving into this transactional, resource-based order. And I need to define this clearly for you, okay? So I'm just checking here. Oh, we got one or two people watching live. Nice to see you, Natasha. What's up? So good. We got a couple people live. But I want to define this term clearly, the Donroe Doctrine. This is power based on territory, energy, and leverage. Okay? It's a new way of thinking about things. The mistake is taking Trump literally instead of structurally. Okay, so if this sounds extreme, let's just look at the pattern. Okay, so here's the pattern. Venezuela is a prototype here, if you will. So they've got the energy. We've got the regional leverage there. So here's Trump's move, right? He makes a threat. He applies pressure. He tries to negotiate. And then he aligns it. How did that work out in Venezuela? Well, the negotiation didn't seem to work out. So Maduro just kind of got aligned out of office and into a trial in New York, right? But here's the key with Greenland. It's not about annexing Greenland. It's not annexation. That's not the goal. The goal is just to align what's happening, okay? And these threats that Trump makes, they're an opening bid, right? This is just, hey, here's my play. What are you going to do? Greenland, it fits the same logic here. Greenland, it's not just symbolic, right? We have Arctic shipping routes, energy, military positioning. Who knows, maybe they can build a huge AI infrastructure up there because it's so cold, right? And that's one of the biggest costs with AI is the energy to cool everything down. Let's just move it to the Arctic, and we can do that. But Alaska, that could take decades to revamp all of Alaska for this. Greenland is just a shortcut. And in this doctrine, right, Trump's only got 3 more years. He's got to move quickly. So speed is more important. And in the Donroe Doctrine, it's all about speed. You saw the threats to Venezuela, and then shortly thereafter, Maduro's been captured. Same thing with Greenland. It was all about speed. And you may have noticed that Europe is panicking right now, sending over troops to Greenland. And why are they panicking? It's because Europe is weak. So rather than think about Trump, think about how vulnerable Europe is. Okay, they've got nothing to do. They can't stop what is eventually going to happen here with Greenland. So there's really no credible force. Europe is depending on NATO for all threats. Well, what if the threat comes from inside the house? And that's what we're going to find out. What happens? What if the U.S. just doesn't respect the members of NATO anymore, right? What's Denmark going to do? Nothing. They can't do anything. And when Trump called their defense dog sleds, it's a bit hyperbole, but it's pretty accurate. Now here's the thing: deterrence, right? The NATO deterrence, it only works if it's believable, right? So Europe is now, sending troops to Greenland. Does anybody buy it, though? Does anybody believe that Europe is going to open fire on the U.S. if we show up at Greenland? No, I don't think anyone has done that. NATO was built for external threats, right? Threats from the East, threats from the old former Soviet Union, right? That's why NATO was a thing. Not if a U.S. president decided he just wanted some more land, right? NATO wasn't built for that. So what happens when this threat comes from within? Can an alliance survive if its strongest member doesn't believe in internal equality? I don't think so, right? So this is where the story gets uncomfortable, okay? Now, the real fear is that NATO is now seeing that the United States' support is only conditional, right? In the past, it might have been seen as, conditional love, unconditional love. No, there's conditions here. And the conditions are, you got this great resource, and we want it, So what happens is the weak allies are just going to become assets of the strong, right? Strong allies become partners. Weak allies, junior partners, or they just become assets of the big partners. And once you see it, you can't unsee what's next. And this is, we can go slippery slope here because that's always a very strong way to look at things. The collar's a little messed up there. If Greenland is negotiable, that's a question. Is it negotiable? If it is negotiable, what about Arctic Canada? What? Seems negotiable too. What about other poorly defended assets? Right? If Greenland is negotiable, if the Arctic Canada is now negotiable, suddenly everything seems negotiable, doesn't it? Now, this is not a conspiracy, right? This is done right out in the open. And the incentives kind of explain everything. I think, one of the incentives is, at one point, the media could have an effect on how presidents would govern. But if you just lie and make up stuff year after year after year, he stops listening to you. You've lost your power. The mainstream media has lost its power as a safeguard or, to the president. The president is now no longer listening. It's one of those cases of the boy who cried wolf, right? Trump's a Nazi, Trump's a Nazi, Trump's a Nazi. So many times you no longer listen to the person making the claim. And so now that Trump doesn't have to listen to the media is just going to say what they say anyway. Let's take Greenland. So here's the big reframe. And Trump didn't invent this, okay? He just stopped pretending, right? Rather than back channeling all of these things, which is what the U.S. has done for the past 40 years, 50 years. Just doing it out in the open. Talking about the process and this outcome. The shock isn't what Trump is doing. It's that we are still pretending no one ever would, right? So now we're just seeing things kind of more as they are. And you see this and you may think to yourself that, does this mean the world is becoming more dangerous? It's like, no, not necessarily. Now the curtain's pulled back and we're just seeing things as they actually are. Just, I guess to close this out, empires don't announce themselves, okay? And they don't ask permission. So is this upping the American empire? Kind of looks like it. Let's see if we can get to this story here. Let's see. But because I'm on a delay, I can't even tell if I am... There we go. Okay. So here's this article that I got a lot of this, or that some of the ideas from. But this article just suggests that Trump's renewed interest in Greenland is just part of a larger strategy for the U.S. to assert energy dominance and territorial leverage on the globe. And Europe is facing strategic vulnerabilities. The U.S. is capitalizing on all of this. So a couple things. Trump's focus on Greenland does signal a shift in U.S. policy. And the implications are that the territorial claims on global diplomacy and climate are negotiable, right? And that's what Trump likes. He likes to negotiate, right? The art of the deal. And I think he'll be negotiating now. Is that glitch? Anyway. So yeah, so I think those people that think that the obsession or the fixation with Greenland is kind of odd, it really isn't. And it is a signal as to what is to come. So, yeah, that's the big story that I wanted to talk about today. But I got a couple other stories that we can get to, so we can just roll through that. Let's see. What is story number 2? There we go. Oh, this is a bit of a joke. Here. But this is the exiled crown prince urges the world to help protesters topple Iran's government. Okay. So Reza Pahlavi has made a passionate plea for international support to help Iranian protesters overthrow the current regime. Now, I did a little asking. It's nice with AI. You can ask AI, hey, are there telltale signs that all of these quote-unquote organic protests that are popping up in Iran, may they have any ties to the U.S. government, U.S. State Department, USAID, various CIA cutouts? Does it show any signs that we might be behind this? And the answer is, of course. Of course. This is all paid for by your tax dollars. But you can call me a conspiracy theorist for that, or just someone that recognizes patterns. Does his call for action, does this mean anything? No, it really doesn't. And he says that the Revolutionary Guard should be targeted. Do you think you can target that without it escalating further? No, of course it would escalate things further. So, anyway, yeah, I mean, if he's, but, you know, if overthrowing governments is an Olympic sport, our State Department would hold all the medals, right? that's it. We'll just see how this plays out. This is something that our deep state and Israel have wanted for a very, very long time, and this is just the current round of it. Don't know if it's going to happen or not, but I wouldn't be that surprised if it did. But let's get to some dumber news, shall we? Yeah, let's get to some dumber news. Let's see. This is the next story we've got here. How the ACLU has fallen. The ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union. At one point, I had a ACLU membership card. They used to actually have membership cards, I think, in the 90s. Don't know that they do anymore. But does anyone have a membership card? I don't know, maybe it's an e-card now. But they've launched a campaign advocating for biological males to compete in women's sports, featuring celebrities like Megan Rapinoe, the soccer Olympian. She actually went to the University of Portland, and I used to watch her play when she was in college. Who would have known, right? But this initiative emerges as the Supreme Court is considering cases that could protect female athletes, because, you know, some people want to protect female athletes. I know, it's kind of crazy. Proponents of this frame it as an issue of freedom and equality for transgender youth. And somehow the ACLU thinks that this is a civil rights issue. And I guess that's something to consider. Is it a civil right to demand that the entire world treat you as the way you feel deep inside? It's an interesting way to think about it, you know. If you believe that you are a different sex than you are, can you just demand that others treat you that way? Is that all it takes? And if that is the case, I would say that I am a rock star. And frankly, if you see me in public and if you don't run up and ask for an autograph and a selfie and scream, then you're not respecting my delusion or whatever. But yeah, I think the ACLU is just really I don't know. There's not a whole lot of respect for the ACLU anymore. But, you know, we'll see what happens with the Supreme Court when this plays out. But I, for one, am kind of against girls having to defend themselves against boys. But that's just me. But here's a hot take, right? If you think allowing biological males in women's sports is empowering, just wait until you see them in the WNBA. You thought Caitlin Clark was good. Just wait. Oh, man. You know, I would think that the ACLU should actually be trying to protect the rights of women, but I don't know. Color me old-fashioned. Let's get a little little update on... Come on. Little update on what's happening down in Venezuela. Okay. Obviously, I need to change the camera angle there, but that's all right. So here we are. CIA director met with Venezuela's leader in Caracas as Trump huddled with Machado. And once again, we've got a nice video, auto-playing, that has nothing to do, I think that's Christian Cinema on the screen there, nothing to do with the story that we're talking about. Shame on any website that does this. Still looking for a name for videos that don't have anything to do with the story that they're on. But, so here's a story from the Hill. CIA Director John Ratcliffe visited Venezuela's interim president, Delcy Rodriguez. What do you think about that? We're not meeting with the new president. The CIA director is meeting with the new interim president. It kind of tells you who's in charge down there, doesn't it? And this couldn't come as a shock to anyone. But this is the most significant visit to Venezuela, since the capture of Maduro. But again, it doesn't look like they're trying to hide anything. They're just doing this right out in the open. Okay, yeah, our CIA director is going to go talk to your new person. Kind of let you know what is going to go down in Venezuela in the coming months here. But, when we see this, it is nice to see someone in the government actually taking a work trip. Ba-dum-bum. Yeah. So you can just ask yourself, is the CIA now a travel agency for regime change? Because that's kind of what it looks like. But everything that we've seen around Venezuela for the past decade or more, at least decade that I've been paying attention, has always involved the CIA. So why not just have the director go down there to set things up? And you know what? I think we need some good news. So let's get to the good news of the day. Maybe it's good news. I don't know. Trying to frame it this way. Oakley has new Meta AI smart glasses, come in styles for casual and sporty looks. So check out how awesome this looks. And they look a lot more casual than the old the Ray-Bans Metas that have been around so far. Those were very obvious that they were AI glasses. These look a lot less like, the first version, especially because they've got the mirrored look, and maybe the camera is behind the mirror. So that's a way to disguise it. But now that Oakley is doing this, so Meta, Facebook, right, has teamed up with Oakley to launch new AI smart glasses. And they blend technology in these new designs. They start about $400, and they come in two different styles. Previously, they worked with Ray-Ban and had those. So on the screen here, you can see these are the Ray-Ban Meta glasses that were really bulky, and you could see the cameras that were like right in the corner, like kind of in the cat eye. But these new Oakleys, I don't see where the camera is, so maybe it's behind the mirror there. But this really is a step forward in these smart glasses. Um, is this enough? Like, will this go mainstream? Well, it depends on if, some influencers get out there and start wearing them, and if people are told they're cool, because that's what people do. If they're told that this is the cool new thing, then they will do it. If they're told that these are dorky and you shouldn't wear them, then people won't. So we'll just have to see what happens. I'm still waiting for my update, right? I'm waiting to find out whether or not these new Oakleys will be the thing. But they can take instant HD photos, capture 3K live stream videos for Instagram and Facebook. You can listen to music and podcasts on them. Who cares, right? No big deal. But they do have on-device navigational controls. That could be helpful. And real-time language translation, Spanish, Italian, and French. So that would be really fun to check out. I would like to see how they work for translation. That could be pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. $400, maybe I'll get some. Although, when you look at these, you can't talk to people wearing these glasses. Big mirrored glasses. That's a bit too cringe. But who knows? Maybe it will be the next fashion statement. Don't know. Anyway, that is what I have prepared today. I'll have to go back and see. Apparently it worked. Apparently it went out. So I will go back and review this live stream and figure out how I can make it better and whatnot. But thanks for checking it out. Thanks for hanging out with me today. And stick around. I'll go through the comments that were made. Here we go. In just a minute. And I'm going to be back on Monday, live on Monday, noon on the West Coast, 3 on the East Coast. So I hope you can join me then. And it'll be better than today. Hope you have an awesome weekend. Okay. Oops, wrong one. Nope. There we go. Okay. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Let's see. No intro music. Yeah, we didn't get the music in there. Let's see. Rainers. You fall 42. Okay. Nice to see you. Problem is the U.S. is the one that lost all of its respect. Yeah, but what does respect get you? Right? There's still an off-ramp. Okay. U.S. has been quietly quitting NATO for a while now. I would agree. And I don't even know why we're in NATO. There's really no reason for us to be in NATO anymore at all. We probably don't need to be in it from, once the end of the Soviet Union ended. There's no reason for NATO. Freezing in Florida, huh? Well, it's pretty cold here. I went for a walk this morning. I don't know. Maybe it was 40s. It was okay. Some places think the poles will move to the center equator and Greenland will actually be tropical. Yeah, that's not how things work. Yeah. If trans are so prominent, then they should have their own team in each sport. If they had their own teams, then they wouldn't be able to beat up on the women. Defeats the purpose, doesn't it? A little bit. Still no music. Okay, yeah, I got to figure out the music thing, but that's something to check. Another note on. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Hey, Judah, what's up? Hey, Judah. Nice to see you here. If I was a bit short yesterday, I don't know. I just haven't had a. It's been a tough week for me. So, but I appreciate your patience and putting up with me when I act like a jerk sometimes. Tom, your beard looks different. I just trimmed it. I'm trying not to look as scruffy as I am. Oh, this is silly. Let's see. I still got this up here. Yeah. Oh well, whatever. Yeah, trying to not look as scruffy, and so I tried trimming it. I don't know. Still trying to figure out a good look. So it looks different, and I know that's a nice thing to say when you don't want to say it looks terrible. But thank you. I'm still trying to figure out the. I just didn't want the huge homeless beard happening, so I trimmed it up. NATO is projecting most of U.S. power. Very true. U.S. alone is weak. Maybe. Yeah. But those were the comments of today. Not sure. We'll keep going on this. We'll keep trying this show. I'll be back on Monday, and I'll try to fix all the things that I didn't get working right today. But I just wanted to give you my take on what's happening in Greenland and my prediction that it will be our territory. Now, whether or not it becomes USA proper, I don't know that that's necessary. But it will be under the control of the U.S. Regardless. That's just the way it is. But it is I think it's a gold mine. And yeah, if you can't defend something, well, what do you expect to happen, right? And just because I'm giving you that as my opinion, doesn't mean I approve of it. Just letting you know what's happening. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Hope you all have a beautiful weekend, and I'll see you next time. Peace.